In this video, we are going to see few topics which are really helpful in solving a lot of numerical problems that keep coming in exams. Rotation, translation, rolling. These are all about the motion of a body. We'll take up one by one and explain the ideas behind them, which will be useful when you do problems. Okay, right. First, we'll see what is this rotation. Let's say there is a body capable of rotating. You can take it to be, say, a ring, disc, cylinder, a sphere also. So consider bodies such as these things. Say they are simply rotating. When we say rotation, we mean pure rotation. That means there is no, altogether the body does not move from one place to the other. Let's say that the body simply rotates about an axis. Here, let's say the axis is passing through the center of the ring or any such bodies, okay, and perpendicular to the plane of the diagram. If we take it as say a ring here, let's say, or a disc here, let's say that axis is the geometric axis of the disc or ring. Okay, it's rotating about that axis. We discuss about the pure rotation. Let's say the rotational sense is clockwise, as I have shown in the diagram, and let omega be the angular velocity. Omega be the angular velocity. Of course, it's a vector quantity. The direction of the vector quantity is given by right hand rule to be into the plane. It's an axial vector. Direction is into the plane because the angular velocity sense is like this, clockwise, as you see. Therefore, direction of angular velocity into the plane. What happens is, all the particles in this body, say such as 1, 2, 3, all will move with the same angular velocity. That means the entire body is rotating with the same angular velocity. What is angular velocity of 1? Omega. Angular velocity of 2? Omega. Angular velocity of 3? Omega. But the case is not so in the case of the linear velocities of the particles that make up the body. The direction of the linear velocities keep changing. At any instant of time, the direction of the linear velocity is tangent to the path in which the particles are moving. For example, if you want to find out the linear velocity for particle 1, that's part of the body, you will have to draw tangent. This will be 90. The particle will go like this. Okay, kind of circle. So tangent. So this is linear velocity. That will be different for different particles. Have you got this idea? That's about linear velocity. Okay, but the angular velocity is same for all the particles. And here the equations which we can use is, say, omega f is omega I plus alpha t, and of course omega f square minus omega I square is 2 alpha theta, and theta equal to, okay, let me just do correction, theta equal to omega I t plus half alpha t square. These are the main equations which we can use for the body. Omega f, final angular velocity. Imagine you apply a torque to this body to accelerate in an angular sense. You will get omega f as the final angular velocity, alpha angular acceleration, t is the time interval for the velocity, angular velocity to change from omega I to omega f. Of course, theta is the angular displacement. I have written the equations here without any vector symbols. Okay, where need be there, we will use the vector approach, right? Otherwise this kind of a thing is fine. Okay, this is about the rotation, right? Then coming to translation, the translation here is, consider the body here. Okay, consider the body, all the way down. This body, let's say, undergoes translation like this. This is the center of mass of the body. Consider a body such as a ring or disc, etc. It is moved altogether such that its velocity is v1 towards right, let's say, right? Then all the particles in this body will have the linear velocity. Because it's a rigid body, the entire body has to move. Even a particle here will have the same velocity. All particles will have same velocity. Here there is no rotation. We assume only translation. That is, the body moves, say, in a linear sense. There is no rotation. All the particles have same velocity v1 to the right. No angular velocity. Here there is no linear motion for the rigid body. For the body rotates about this axis. Here the axis is moving to the right, the geometric axis. Imagine an axis perpendicular to the plane of the body here, and then passing through its center. This is translation. This is pure rotation, pure translation, right? Here what are all the equations we can use? We can use generally v is equal to u plus at. Of course we can also use correspondingly s is equal to ut plus half at square. Of course we can also use v square minus u square 2as. Symbols carry the usual meaning. When need be there, we can use the vector approach also. This is about the translation. Now coming to this rolling, which is very important, especially in JEE and other such exams. Rolling will be a combination of rotation plus translation. See, you have a surface. For simplicity's sake, for the time being, you assume the surface to be fixed, right? Consider the velocity in the first diagram. Topmost point as v to the right side, bottommost point as v to the left side. Okay, and also we can apply v is equal to r omega. R is the radius of the body we are considering there. Is it clear? That all the particles will have the same angular velocity. That's very important. If you want to consider particles not on the edge, then you'll have to use v is equal to r omega. R is small r. Small r is the distance of the particle from the center. Have you got the idea? V is equal to capital R omega for particles at the edge. Small r omega, distance of the particle from the center. As you can see from the diagram, small r is the distance of the particle. The direction of V is tangential. So that will be linear velocity of the particle, which is v is equal to r omega. Okay. Now v1 for the how do you get the third diagram? The velocity of the topmost point will be v1 plus v, and velocity of the lowermost point will be v1 minus v, because third diagram is a combination of the first two diagram. Suppose if V1 is greater than V, what will happen? There will be more linear motion than the corresponding rotational motion, right? The point P will be moving towards right side because V1 is more than or greater than V. Is it clear? In this case, we say that slipping takes place. Understood that? Since this slipping is in the forward direction, we can consider this to be the forward slipping. Forward means towards the right side. Is it clear? Example will be when a fast moving car is there, when you apply brakes, then the car will skid and see the wheels will not rotate properly, or wheels may not rotate sufficiently, but the translational motion of the car will continue. So this is an example of a very good this is a very good example of forward slipping. Have you understood that? On the other hand, if V1 is less than V, we call the slipping as backward slipping because there is more rotational motion. Backward slipping, okay, because there is more rotational motion than the corresponding translational motion. This is called the backward slipping. So the example for this will be car trying to move in a muddy road. Muddy road, what will happen? Car will stay in the same place, wheels will be rotating, but the car will not move in the forward direction. That's an example of what is known as a backward slipping. That is, the point P will be moving in the backward direction as the car will be stationary. The point P will try to go in the backward direction. It will not be at rest. Okay, when it is at rest, we say that it is the rolling without slipping. Okay, now in that case the point P will be at rest momentarily. That is very important. Every moment it will be at P, then it will accelerate and go along the circular path following the circle of the disk. Okay, so V is to the right and there is an angular velocity as shown. Then you can see both the forward velocity and the backward velocity will be equal, and the net velocity at the lowermost point P is the lowermost point, would be 0 every moment. Is it clear? So we get a very important condition for rolling without slipping. VCM is equal to R omega. VCM means velocity of the center of mass. That should be equal to capital R times omega. Important condition. Is it clear? Omega is the angular velocity of the body about its center of mass. Capital R is the radius. So summarizing, pure rolling will be a combination of pure rotation and pure translation, subject to the condition that velocity of the center of mass in the rolling motion should be equal to the product of the radius of the body and the angular velocity of the body about the center of mass. Is it clear? Thank you.